The room is silent, yet electricity seems to breathe through the air. A tall, thin man stands alone, his eyes fixed on a coil of copper wire that glows with an eerie blue light. Sparks snap around him like living creatures, but he doesn't flinch because this is exactly the world he always saw in his mind. Most people feared lightning. Nikola Tesla tried to control it. He believed energy could be pulled from the sky, shaped like clay, and given back to humanity. To him, the limits of science were nothing more than locked doors. And he carried the keys. Well, that's not the shocking part. The world had no idea what this quiet, brilliant man was about to unleash. As the coil roars to life, Tesla steps forward. The room floods with blinding light, but he stands calm, almost serene. It's as if he's finally meeting an old friend, raw electricity itself. He whispers one line under his breath, a line only history would later understand. The future is mine to shape. Yet no one expected the storm that followed. A battle of ideas, a clash of giants, a race to control the invisible force powering our world. And at the center of it all stood one man whose imagination burned brighter than the lightning he summoned. This is the story of the forgotten genius. The man who dreamed of a world powered by the air around us. The man who changed everything, yet died with nothing. And now we uncover the truth behind the mind that rewrote the laws of the modern age. But be warned, the deeper we go into Tesla's world, the stranger and more dangerous it becomes. The story of Nikola Tesla does not begin in a glowing laboratory or on the grand stage of American innovation. It begins in a quiet village in the mountains of the Austrian Empire, where storms rolled across the sky like restless giants. Tesla was born during one of those storms, lightning cracking overhead, as if announcing the arrival of a mind the world was not prepared for. Even then, villagers whispered that this child would be different, maybe even dangerous. As he grew, young Tesla saw the world through shapes, sparks, and impossible visions. He claimed ideas arrived in flashes, sudden bursts of light that revealed entire machines before his eyes. But that's not the strangest part. He could rotate those visions, take them apart, and rebuild them in his mind with perfect precision, long before touching metal or wire. His father wanted him to become a priest. His mother, a quiet woman with brilliant hands, crafted mechanical tools by instinct alone. She recognized his genius instantly, though she feared where it might take him. And she was right to worry because Tesla's path would lead him into the heart of a growing technological war. Europe, at that time, stood on the edge of a new electrical age. Laboratories buzzed with experiments. Inventors battled for patents, fame, and the future. In the shadows of these rivalries, Tesla felt something pulling him across the ocean, a whisper of opportunity, danger, and destiny. He believed the world needed a new kind of power, a power that could transform civilization. Little did he know, across the Atlantic, another inventor was already preparing his claim to that future. A man who would become both an ally and a relentless rival. And Tesla was about to step straight into his world. The real conflict in Nikola Tesla's life did not arrive with thunder. It crept in slowly, like a flicker in a dark workshop, then exploded into a storm of rivalry, ambition, and betrayal. Tesla stood at the center of it, a man with visions far ahead of his time, and competitors who were not ready to let him reshape the world. He walked into America with only 4 cents in his pocket, but he carried something far more valuable, an idea that could change everything. His new alternating current system had the power to light entire cities safely and cheaply. But that's when the first shadow appeared, Thomas Edison. A man equally brilliant, equally driven, but with a very different vision. At first, Tesla worked for Edison, believing they could reshape the future together. But Edison dismissed a sea power as dangerous, unpredictable, even foolish. When Tesla pushed forward, Edison pushed back harder, sparking what history now calls the War of Currents. And no one expected how ruthless that war would become. While Tesla struggled to fund his inventions, Edison launched public demonstrations claiming a sea could kill. He electrocuted animals to sway public opinion. Crowds gasped. Investors turned away. Fear spread. But Tesla refused to retreat. "Let them call it dangerous," he whispered. "The world will understand." Then came a moment that changed everything. Industrial titan George Westinghouse took a chance on Tesla's AC patents, offering financial backing and belief when no one else would. Together, they built something breathtaking, massive generators at Niagara Falls, a project people once called impossible. And when the turbines roared to life, powering cities miles away, the world finally understood the truth. Tesla's ideas worked. But victory came with a price. Behind closed doors, Westinghouse struggled under crushing financial pressure and begged Tesla to release him from the royalty agreement that would made Tesla one of the richest men alive. And Tesla agreed. He tore up the contract, saving Westinghouse but sacrificing his fortune. It was a moment of brilliance and tragedy, because while Tesla had won the battle of electricity, he had no idea another war was coming, a far darker one. One that would threaten not his inventions, but his legacy. Dark clouds gathered over Tesla's life long before anyone noticed. Money grew scarce, investors grew nervous, and the world grew hungry for inventions he refused to weaponize. But something far stranger was happening behind the scenes. Something Tesla never explained directly. Whispers spread about secret experiments conducted late at night. Hotel staff reported flashes of blue light coming from his room, followed by a silence that felt almost unnatural. Some claimed they heard faint humming, like an engine powering a world unseen. Then came the Wardenclyffe mystery, Tesla's boldest dream, and perhaps his greatest downfall. He believed he could transmit power wirelessly across the planet. Not just signals, but energy itself, reaching every home, every village, every ship at sea. To him, the Earth was a conductor, a living battery waiting to be awakened. But that's when the fear began. Investors asked a chilling question. If energy flows through the air, who controls it? Tesla had no answer they wanted. And when he refused to weaponize the project, money vanished almost overnight. That wasn't the only twist. Rumors of a machine that could shake entire cities. Tesla insisted it was only a small oscillator, a harmless experiment. But after a sudden tremor in Manhattan, he smashed it with a hammer and told his staff to say nothing. Why? What did he create that terrified even him? These mysteries only deepened when he claimed he could split the Earth with the right frequency. Reporters laughed, scientists frowned. But Tesla spoke calmly, almost coldly, as if stating a simple fact. And yet, the greatest twist was still ahead, an experiment he tried to share with the world, but no one believed. One night, while alone with his radio equipment, Tesla said he heard something impossible. Voices, not human. From somewhere beyond Earth, he later wrote, "I know the universe is alive." But what did he truly hear that night? And why did he become so secretive afterward? The mystery tightens here, where genius crosses the line into legend. And from this moment on, Tesla's story becomes darker, stranger, and far more dangerous. The fallout from Tesla's greatest struggles did not unfold in silence. It came like a slow, cold wind that swept across his life, dimming the brilliance that once lit entire cities. Yet even in these quieter years, something unexpected happened. His ideas began to outlive the men who doubted him. Tesla watched the world embrace alternating current with a quiet, almost haunting pride. Factories roared to life. Homes glowed after sunset. Entire nations pulsed with flowing electricity he once imagined as a child beneath a storm-lit sky. But that wasn't the end of his reach. It was only the beginning. As radio towers rose, as wireless communication circled the planet, echoes of Tesla's early experiments whispered through the airwaves. He had predicted a connected world decades before humanity realized such a thing was possible. But here's the twist: few people knew the full extent of his influence. His fingerprints hid behind every switch, every broadcast, every distant flicker of light. The true genius of Tesla wasn't just in what he invented. It was in what he envisioned. He saw the world not as it was, but as it could be, a place powered by invisible forces, linked by unseen networks, and energized by the natural world itself. He dreamed in blue lightning, and somehow, piece by piece, the world followed. Yet his story forces us to ask a haunting question. How much brighter would humanity shine if his wildest ideas had been realized? Free wireless energy, global communication, machines powered by the Earth itself, concepts dismissed as impossible, yet frighteningly close to what powers our modern world. Tesla's legacy, though twisted by failure, overshadowed by rivals, and buried under decades of forgotten notes, emerges in the end as something undeniable. He was a man out of time, a visionary whose ideas were too large for the century that held him. And now, more than ever, we see the truth. His greatest invention was not a machine, but a future he imagined for all of us. The room grows quiet now, as if even the air pauses to listen. Tesla's story lingers like a fading spark, glowing just enough to remind us of its power. His triumphs were brilliant. His tragedies were devastating, but his legacy, it still hums through every wire around us. He died alone, but he never truly vanished. His ideas survived the silence. They pulsed forward through history, carried by scientists who followed his trail of lightning. And today, every time a light switches on, part of his dream awakens again. But here's the question that refuses to fade. What else might Tesla have created if the world had listened? What inventions remain locked in forgotten notebooks ideas that could have changed everything? And more importantly, what visionaries walk among us now, waiting for someone to believe in them before their spark goes out? His life warns us and inspires us. It tells us that brilliance is fragile, yet unstoppable. That one mind, one relentless, misunderstood mind can reshape the entire future. And it leaves us with a final whisper. Greatness often comes from the people the world ignores. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to subscribe to History Hub for more cinematic stories. The past is full of secrets, and we're just getting started.